Hello and welcome. It's Tracy from Ambercat Creations, and today we are working on video number 2 for the Summer School Junk Journal exercises. We're going to start right off with the art project, which is a biodome. Relatively inexpensive, so no worries there. You're first going to want to have a small kludge or biodome. I picked this one up at Dollarama for $1.75. You're going to require some floral foam. Usually comes in a brick. I simply sliced it easily and then used a cup smaller than the top of the dome and punched out a circular disc. You're also going to need moss. Some dried moss. This I picked up a while ago, also at the, I think it was Dollar Tree. Relatively inexpensive. I don't think I paid more than $2 for a very large bag. You're going to need tweezers, glue stick, cheap glue gun. I tend to use this I'm going to keep this just for my grandson's craft projects. This one was $4, but I like it because it's small and portable. And the last of your purchases will probably be some fake florals. This whole bundle, I think, was $2. Let me double check. $2.25 from the Dollar Tree. And you want to make sure your flowers, your grass, everything is small or could be cut down to be small to fit inside the biodome. Essentially, you're going to take your biodome and your hot glue gun and you're going to glue the disc to the center of the base. You're also going to take the hot glue and cover it real thoroughly with your dried moss. I do recommend that you use a sheet of baking paper underneath. Anybody who's worked with moss and a hot glue gun knows it's really just a hot mess. Once complete, you can then with your child, there we go. You collect your little bits and bobs that you've collected outside. Pieces of wood, shells, sticks, a feather, whatever your child has managed to, maybe some acorns, whatever your child has managed to find for this project. And you'll need a specimen. In my examples, which I'll show you in a minute, I did have a formerly alive insect. I found him perfectly dried out on a windowsill. You might also want to look on or under a bug zapper. You might even want to rescue a few flying insects from a local bird bath. Once they dry out, if it flies away, you saved a life, and if it dries out and doesn't fly away, well, I guess you've got yourself an unalive specimen for this project. Other options, I did have a previous project my grandson and I worked on where we had a tiny plastic field mouse skeleton. I've also found these little insects. So nice and tiny. Anything you can find. That I believe the insects were purchased at Michael's during Halloween. But anything you can find, you set up your arrangement, make sure it can fit under the dome, and you're good to go. I've also included with mine some pre-made labels. They say Vertebrate, Invertebrate. There's also some blank ones in case my grandson wants to name his subject, and in which case that's when you're going to need the glue stick. Put a little glue and you can put it on the base of your project. So these are my finished projects. This is the plastic field mouse. Now completely assembled, he did not fit under the dome. So I kind of look like he died with his little acorn and time has done its job. The second one completed project. I have a stone in here. This was a little stinging insect I found on the windowsill. So he's just splayed out on the rock, maybe not necessarily looking like he's passed away. And now they just need labels. So that's the art project for the summer school junk journal. We're going to move on to the other pages. Next, I have a vertebrate and invertebrate review for the child. It's very similar to the other one with the flip ups. You guess the animal, you guess whether it's a vertebrate or an invertebrate. You can flip it over for the answer. This one has the small cards, like small envelopes, and the cards inside the envelope with their answers. There we go. Next is another big project. This is the X-ray portion. This is number 106. Each of these is basically you're just going to figure out the human body part. Now these X-ray type vellum can be found, I believe, on Amazon. You can also find it at Michael's. I believe I lucked out, I think it was last year at Halloween, where I managed to get these a little, I think it's 6x6 pad of these X-rays. So here there's 5 different body parts. In his notebook, he's going to label the 5 body parts. The next section actually has questions, and he has to say true or false or exo-endoskeleton. And that is for the 2 X-rays on the back. One is human and one is the insect. So of course you have your endoskeleton and your exoskeleton. And the questions in his notebook will refer to the differences of that. The next section is also an X-ray. This one is a little more unique. He has a series of questions to answer and the answers. The X-ray, it might look familiar to some of you. This is a Tim Holtz, and it is actually a broken collarbone. You can see right here. So not only does he have to identify the part of the human body, but I'm hoping he'll recognize that one of the bones is not okay. I believe the back is just decorative. Yes, it's going to introduce us to Metamorphosis versus Mutation. So I'm going to slow down a bit here and give you a chance to either make your own notes or take a snap of that page. With this next one, of course, he will be writing out each of these definite words 5 times each. For me, I've said it before, spelling counts. On the back is nothing that he's going to be questioned about. Again, I'm going to leave this open for you. It is the late 1800s peppered moth observation, for lack of a better word, where they thought he was that they were being able to back up Darwin's theory of evolution in real time. Essentially, in London, they had the peppered moth that was perfectly camouflaged in the forest. There was the black version, which was considered a mutation, did not have a huge survival rate. But with the Industrial Revolution of England, and everything began, at least outside city limits, to be covered in a fine black soot, the mutation moth actually gained population, and it became reverse where the peppered or original moth was beginning to die out. So this is just information for my grandson. Again, I've catered this book to a 10-year-old. Back of the page. Nope. Back of the page. Again, just finishing the story of the peppered moth. And I don't think there's anything in his notebook really for that. Here, on the next page, though, are the 4 stages of metamorphosis. They are numbered, and in his book, he has to line up picture 1 with what's going on in the photo. So picture 1, of course, are the eggs or larvae. So he's just going to draw a line. It's a very simple exercise, but I want him to understand the order of the stages. Just a decorative piece on the back. And then we have review of metamorphosis. This is, again, a bit of an art project for me. I had some foam lily pads that I picked up at the dollar store, and I had some fishing lures. I'm going to show you one of these lures. I'm holding it by the hook, but they were a tiny little frog with just legs. Hi, Ivory. You're going to have to wait a minute, hon. Give me a second. So for the second stage, I simply remove the legs on the tadpole, and for the third stage, I have them on. Of course, the hooks are removed. The exercise, however, has 4 cards in the envelope. He needs to read the description and decide which stage the card belongs with. So a nice, easy review. And now we are winding up with the overall review of the project. So he has a series of questions in exercise 9 that he will answer based on exoskeleton, endoskeleton, vertebrae, invertebrate. And the final part of the observation will come the following day with day 9. And these are questions that he will have to answer in his book of plant observations. And that's it. That is the conclusion of all the exercises in the Summer School Junk Journal. Hopefully you found something that you might want to do with your children, whether it's a music video, whether it's a biodome. Either way, if you found this somewhat intriguing or inspiring, creatively speaking, hit the like button. I'll see you next time. Take care.